time to celebrate the young entrepreneurs of South Africa who are not only making their mark in the business world, but also creating jobs and bridging the gap in youth unemployment. The highly anticipated Top 16 Youth-Owned Brands Awards are back again this year. The awards were founded by Pat Mahlangu and consist of 16 categories ranging from top travel and tourism brand to top personality and influencer. Now, to tell us more about the awards ceremony next week, we're joined by Pat Mahlangu. Good morning. Welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning and good morning to your viewers. Thank you so much for having me.
It's so good to have you in the studio. Tell us about the awards and why is it that you established awards of this nature in the first place?
I mean, there are many reasons why I started, but I think the most primary reason is that young people's contribution in the economy is never mentioned. Right. So a lot of times when you talk about young people, it's always on the negative side. You look at the high unemployment rates, you look at laziness, you look at things like drug abuse, and so I wanted to change the narrative a bit to say, look, the youth of 1976 fought a political fight, and the youth of today is fighting an economical one. They actually are active in the economy, they're starting businesses, they are contributing positively to the overall image of South Africa.
Yeah.
You and I, okay, maybe I've never been to America, right? But I know how America tastes like, feels like, because of the brands that comes from America. And also, if you look at some of the big brands in South Africa, a brand like Discovery, that brand was founded by a young person. He was 28, Adrian Go, back in 1991, I think, when he started. And today, look at where Discovery is. So it just shows that if young people are supported and their energies are channeled in the right way, great things can happen. Yeah.
Speak to us about the growth of the awards since you started and how they've evolved, running now into 2023.
I mean, so we are 2 years old, believe it or not. We started last year. We had our inaugural awards last year. And this year we are doing it for the second time, and it's bigger and better. The awards will be preceded by a 2-day festival of youth-owned brands, the first of its kind in the country. If you look at, imagine a shopping mall that just houses only youth-owned local brands. You know, so that's what we're going for. But above and beyond that, the festival has 3 pillars. So exhibitions is one of them. The mall that I'm talking about, where young people will be showcasing their businesses there. The second one is education. So we've got over 35 speakers, expert speakers, made out of successful entrepreneurs, marketers who've built great brands that will be sharing their knowledge and experiences with the young entrepreneurs. And of course, we can't talk young people without entertainment. So we've got a hot entertainment lineup. So it's just going to be a great 2 days of youth excellence at its best.
Speaking of excellence, speak to us about the different categories.
Yeah, so our awards focus on 16 categories, as you mentioned earlier on. And really, it ranges from apparel, footwear, technology, media, agriculture, and so we looked at the industries that we know that young people are already active in. So there's no point for us to have like a top mining brand, for example, that is owned by youth. I mean, what are the chances, right? So we looked at the industries that young people are actively in the industries with low barriers to entry. And we want to celebrate those. And hopefully, as we progress, we'll start introducing other categories that are sort of high up there. But for now, those are the 16 main categories. You can visit our website, www.top16yoba.co.za, and you can find all the details there in terms of all the categories and also the exhibitors, our sponsors, and.
Speak to us about how you decide which brands you're going to that are going to be part of the awards. How do you select them? Where do you find these young brands? I mean, yes, they are all over the show, but there's a way that you probably bring them all together.
Yeah, so I mean, the awards are bigger than me. I don't decide who wins any award. I just want to get it out there. We have So the mechanic is that the public gets to nominate their favorite youth-owned brand. So unlike the many industry awards where it's just a group of people in the room deciding who gets an award. So with our awards, they're very much public-driven. So we open up the nominations to the public. We opened in Feb, and for 2 months, the nominations are open, and anyone could nominate their favorite youth-owned brands. Then you also have a panel of expert judges made out of marketers and entrepreneurs that have built great brands in the country. Then they do the shortlisting. So after they've shortlisted the brands, then it's back to the public for voting. Then after they voted, so the final winners is 60% public vote and 40% judges' input.
So what's in it for the winners?
I mean, what's in it for the winners? Like, for example, we partnered now with Vets Business School. So all the winners for this year will get an opportunity to do a management short course at Vets, just to upskill, the winners and the knowledge. Education is key. Yeah. It doesn't matter whether you're running a successful business or you're starting out. You still need to consistently hone your skills. So that's one. Two, I mean, the exposure that these awards give our winners. If you look at some of the brands that won last year, compare them where they were last year before winning and where they are today, it's worlds apart. So it also speaks to I'd say, the stature of winning an award. And if I may, if you look at most of these brands, right, for them it's the first award they get as a brand. And that's why we focus on brands. We don't recognize, for example, Theo Baloyi, but we recognize Batu for being the brand.
Right.
So we recognize the creation of young people, not necessarily to say, oh, you started a business, let's give you an award. So we recognize that which you've built, because I believe that brand builders are nation builders. And so that's what we need to be looking at in terms of these awards.
Speak to us about the awards and encouraging more youth entrepreneurs and the role it plays in that, and expanding the landscape to the youth and thinking outside of the box.
I mean, the thing is, obviously, we all know where we are as a country right now from an economic point of view. And if you think about it, the only option now that young people have in terms of them being economically active and being active players in this economy is through entrepreneurship and starting businesses. There is no other way. If you look at the big corporates have already reached their peak, the only way they now use to maintain a solid sort of bottom line is to get rid of people, not to bring in new ones. So, which is very sort of unfortunate for anyone now who wants to, tap into the workforce. And another thing is, we all know now that with globalization, for example, right, I can work for a company in America being based here, and vice versa. And what you see is we all talk about the brain drain, right? Where we're losing a lot of skills as South African, and so what these awards try to do is that, look, guys, let's stay local, but also act global, right? So you may be founded in South Africa as Spatu, for example, but it shouldn't end here, and it starts with us celebrating them here before they go global. Before we see, a local brand on the cover of GQ global, we need to celebrate them here. And I think for us, that's the starting point. And also, a lot of young people are good at starting, right? Everyone is good at starting something. Today, you can buy a gym clothes and go to gym, but keeping on going to gym is consistency, right? And these awards are also aimed at fueling that momentum to say, keep going, you're on the right track. And I mean, the feedback that we've been getting from some of the winners has been, heartwarming. Some say, I wasn't sure of what I'm doing. I thought I was just starting a business in Japan, and this award just reassured me that I'm actually on the right path, and that which I'm creating is valuable.
That's good. All right. Pat Mahlangu, thank you so much for talking to us. Good luck with the awards. Next week is speaking to us about the awards that are happening next week. Pat Mahlangu and the significance of the top 16 youth brands awards. The awards are a recognition of young entrepreneurs and a commemoration of the youth who fought for freedom before them.